Muslimah or Muslimi, he believes that his own way of Islam is perfect, is okay. These violent guys can just be left on their own. That's the way they see it. But when these northern extremists who breed terrorists, they breed them, they raise and train them, and then they defend them. Once they begin to bring this disrepute against Islam, the southern Muslims who knows these old traits are compelled to start explaining to us that you are just don't understand Muslim, you don't understand Islam. Forgetting the fact that this is not about you and that's your Islam. You are denying what is obvious. The characters of these criminals, by any little or no provocation at all, they can start killing. Let's even just leave these terrorists, the ones who have decided to pick up arms and doing all these killings and other factors that is kind of like influencing them. But before these killings, naturally in Nigeria, you are expected to know that northern Nigeria, you should be careful in the same country. And this is what has been tolerated. And there's also something missing. There are millions of Christians in northern Nigeria. But they've succeeded in making this sort of like posture that makes northern Nigeria an Islamic region. Do you even know that the number of Muslims in northern Nigeria and the numbers of Christians in northern Nigeria is practically equal if there are no more Christians in that place? But it is an argument that you are likely going to deny, even if I present all the data for you right now. If I present you all the data, you are going to deny because you are not raised to believe that. It is like me changing your reality. I don't know how old you are, but there are some certain things that you would realize about Nigeria that you realized, I swear, that you've been lied to for so long. For somebody to now tell you something different, it's going to be like that person is stupid or something, even when they present you facts. Because that is going to change your reality. Now, you have people in that place with this extreme mentality, but you are forgetting that there are victims in that same part that are called Middle Belt and Northern, in the core Northern Nigeria, in Borono. There are more Christians than Muslims in Borono. But you will never believe that because it's going to be like, what are you talking about? And on like that. When you begin to go in deeper, then you realize that they've done so much for over 5-6 decades to suppress their existence. I have proof of that. Suppress their existence politically, academically, and everything that they were supposed to actually really be equal. But everybody just lived on. Everybody just was like moving on, like, you know what I mean? It's none of our business. They have gotten to a stage where they have now armed tens of thousands of their breed who are now killing on a killing spree. And these same them are trying to convince me and you, right, that America is this or America, this one is that, forgetting the fact that you actually have a government. You are helping them to explain away the incompetence and collusion of your government in all of this. Why these extreme Islamists, these murderous Islamists that exist, which Gumi is one of them, you know them. As a Muslim, you should be jolted. You should be angry at all these kind of like shenanigans. You are watching them speaking in defense of terrorists, gaslighting you. Why any attempt to crush them will backfire. Killing terrorists will cause religious war. And you are explaining that. You are telling us how, you know what I mean? Tolerating them, just as you have been made to tolerate them. Ignoring all of these factors, all these things that are now coming to light. Because you are doing it for them. Listen to this guy.
They were coming with the fuel in jerrycans and guns. Our farms and our everything, they take over it. On the 11th September 2001, the Fulani, they attacked us on that day. They burned our houses. My grandfather was killed during that attack. From there, they chased us from our village, and we moved displaced people in various places. Some they go to Gashis district, some they will enter Jol district in the local government. Some are in Barkiladi because everybody find way to enter to escape from death. The Fulani came in good number, entering houses and started put fire on the houses. They were coming with the fuel in jerrycans and guns. They loot on property. We have sheep, goats, all our properties. The Fulani, they take over everything, and they leave us. Nobody have something to eat. Only that we move with our own clothes to that places of displacement. Since then, the Fulani, they invite their brothers from neighboring states or countries to that area. For now, nobody is staying there as a Birom. Our farms and our everything, they take over it. It is the people, it is the Fulani people that they are living there today. They changed the name from Ramkum to Mahanga. That Mahanga means somebody who will stay on the hill spying something. And for now, we have many places that are villages that these Fulani people attack, and the people were moved out from their villages. We have more than 60 villages that both Riom and Barkiladi, they were coming with
It's actually a long chart. However, I just wanted you to hear it. His face tells a lot of stories. Some of them that his mouth probably couldn't really tell all, right? These victims are in their millions. Do you even understand that? People displaced, and their farms, their homes taken over. Crime scene. I have never seen anything like this in my life. People commit crime, mass crime like that, in a country that is a sovereign country. And then they will stay at the crime scene because they are not expecting anybody to come. Like, what? They first came with the idea of Hausa Fulani. Today, a sizable population of the Hausas who have become victims like this, they are those ones in those IDP camps and so many other tribes who have become victims. In one place, that's where you had that over 60 villages. 60, not 60 people, 60 villages. Population on that. Let's say averagely they have 500 population in those 60 villages. Multiply that. And that is happening all over the place, from Katsina to Kaduna to Zamfara to Nasarawa. Then when you now come to the Middle Belt proper, Benue, Plateau, Kogi, Kwara, begin to count those villages. This is not counting individuals now, villages, where people's lives have been disrupted by these terrorists. And the government wants you to believe that they are doing everything they can. So I support the idea of America offering help. But you don't really need America to come into the place if your government is genuinely want to go after them. Within a week, Tinubu's government can raid all the Boko Haram sponsors, and only few would escape. Because currently they are comfortable. They are not worried. It's Nigeria. This phase will pass. Unfortunately, America is not backing down. It's a reminder because the killings have not stopped. Only that some of you have gotten so used to it. You get what I mean? 22 people killed in Jigawa. You know, I've actually spoken on that before, right? The way they have made they have made you so much like unbothered. You're worried a lot about where you are going to make the next money to pay your bills and all of that stuff. So you are not even like, you don't care about the death that is happening around you. They've succeeded in making you that. Today in Nigeria, if I say breaking news, 16 people killed in Jigawa by the Fulani terrorists. Some of you will be like, so Maiyegun, okay, yeah, man, that's bad. What is the breaking news? Go. Like, what is the breaking news? Say, I said 16 people. Can you imagine 16 people? And then I'll begin to describe how they were killed. And sometimes you just be like, oh, Baba, at least say you get something to say. That's how much they have succeeded in making you becoming different and all that. Cold. While you also wait for your turn. That's when you'll be like, oh my God, this country is bad. This country must, you know what I mean? When it happens to you. And I don't really pray any of this to even happen to my worst enemy. Children, women, their lives completely disrupted. They've been totally uprooted from their place. No plan, no future, no nothing. They ended up in strange place with other strange people who are victims of the same crime. And they are watching the government, the governors, holding peace meeting, giving money to these terrorists. If you become a victim like that, I don't think you are, I mean, you are likely going to be reasoning the way you are reasoning right now. It's not possible, even if you are not living in Nigeria. If anything should happen to your community, you, as comfortable as you are, wherever you are right now, if the news breaks that they are already in your place, they are killing everybody, they are burning everybody, do you really think you are still going to hold the same view that you are holding right now against those who are speaking up and calling for help, for those who continue to be victims? Do you think you are still going to hold the same view? No, obviously not. You don't really have to become a victim before you speak up too, because there is a chance that once they begin to realize that they have so much to lose, because right now they are pretty much comfortable, who's going to challenge them? Or maybe when the pressure actually really comes from a place of concern, a place of love, not because you are you are a victim. Maybe there is a chance that we will save lives eventually. My own solution is you break it up and save lives, right? But America hasn't like stopped. Right now, they are putting the final touches to how they are going to respond because the killings haven't stopped. America said rather than them to go and deal with the problems, Nigeria is spending time on propaganda, explaining it away, whether it's Christian genocide or Muslim genocide. They are purely not doing anything different from what they have been doing. And because of that, they are coming.
It makes me angry to now see what's happening in Nigeria. You're shining a light on that. The White House is doing that as well. And the American people need to know what's going on.
Yeah, listen, radical Islamic terrorists, they hate Christians and they hate Jews. And they have murdered vast numbers of Christians. They have murdered vast number of Jews. They continue to do so. And they also murder a significant number of Muslims. Radical Islamic terrorists, if you don't embrace their radical jihadist view, their ideology justifies violence or even murder to force you to submit. And the 13 years I've been in the Senate, I've spent a lot of time fighting for persecuted Christians all across the globe, especially those being persecuted by radical Islamic terrorists. Boko Haram, that is in Nigeria, is a vicious radical Islamic terrorist group. And if you look at, there is no country on planet Earth where more Christians have been murdered in the last 20 years than Nigeria. Since 2009, more than 50,000 100,000 Christians have been murdered in the country of Nigeria. In that same time period,
Hunted down.
more than...
I mean, literally, these Christians are being hunted down.
Yeah, they absolutely are.
Now that's Ted Cruz. They can never love you more than you. Now, if you love yourselves, your attention and your entire effort will be to mount pressure by all means on Tifnumbu. Yeah. Somehow you may think, but what do we need to do? Like, they just appointed the new service chiefs. What are they doing? Are they currently on what do you call it? An onslaught against the terrorists? Let me give you an example. Thank you very much, Olumide. Olumide Akewumi. Thank you. Right? So let me give you an example. Again, imagine that right now, everything in the news in Nigeria, at least your headlines, since America shown interest and they wanted to do something different or do things differently, right? So imagine for a minute that in the news, we are now having success stories of the Nigeria military, Air Force, like all of them all together, the Army, the Air Force, the Navy, where they will be delivering state by state. Like I said, an example, Zamfara, that has turned to a complete haven for these terrorists. They're operating there, they've got different mining field, the towns that they've turned to mining towns and all that, illegal mining. So let's say they begin to clear them and clear them. They say Zamfara is now cleared. Over 4,000 terrorists killed in the last 2 weeks alone. Both air bombardments, grounded troops were firing, and they've arrested more than 6,000. And they presented them. And within this last 2-3 weeks, okay, you realize that there is a special court called Terror Prevention Special Tribunal. Do you understand? So as those 6,000 arrested, wounded, whatever, terrorists, as long as they process them, you take them straight to the judge or the judges. Straight judgment. Those that are going to go and be like, sure you get. So from Zamfara, they move to Niger. From Niger, or they can even start from Kogi, or go to Kwara, go start from Kwara. And on, sure you get. Let's say that's what we are seeing in the news. Do you know that all criticism will begin to just like disappear? There will be those people like me that will still say, thank God they are doing it now. What were they doing all this while? But you know something? You that is a Ronuku, for instance, watching me right now. Do you know what you're going to say to me? Benny, shut up your mouth, Jare. You have been shouting all these years that they are not doing anything. Now they are doing it. You are now complaining that why are they doing it now? Sure you get. And you'll be right. But you see all this shalaye explanation, and all this all the once in a while post from the military, posting it on Twitter and Facebook. This is absolute rubbish because that's what they have been doing for years. All these videos, speeches being made by the service chiefs, all these troops being energized, morale high, all those nonsense. No, they have been doing that for years. In their well-starched uniforms, and their walking sticks, they have been walking everywhere, throwing their weight around, and people are still being killed. Terrorists are still holding peace meeting. And you want to tell me you are doing something different. So imagine that. Even you that is criticizing them, I go praise them. Because we'll just be like, they should maintain it, nobody should talk to them. As they are killing and raiding them, clearing each state, declaring each state free. Forests to everywhere, declaring them free of any terrorist. As they are clearing them, police is there restoring order. Police are being put everywhere to ensure that all those ones that slip through the fingers of the military, they won't slip through the fingers of the police. You sweep them like that, it can last for the next 1 year, non-stop. Is that going to be a very impossible thing to do? And for the first time, they can then use the names of over 400 known terrorist sponsors in Nigeria. Do you know that? You know that there's a list. There is a list of the terror sponsors in Nigeria. It was produced by the Nigeria's intelligence